Hey, YouTube. Let me ask you something. Are you sick and tired of constantly feeling like there's this weight on your chest that doesn't go away? Are you tired of living your life feeling afraid all the time, being responsible for leading a family with no concept or idea of how to do it, waking up in the mornings feeling like you can't breathe? Well, today we're going to talk about fear, how it does that to us, and how we can start to overcome a lot of the effects of what's going on with fear. But before we do that, I want to come out of the Bible because there's some things that I want you to know that I want to really set the foundation for what it is that we're going to talk about. And so we're going to go to 2 Timothy 1 and 7. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So, what did God give us? Power, love, and a sound mind. This is very important because whenever you're going through fear, the first thing fear tries to do is it tries to attack your mind. So, let's talk about where fear comes from. There's four major places that fear comes from. The first is from the spirit. And it's not God's spirit because remember, you have good spirit and you have evil spirits. The evil spirits have learned that if they can make you afraid, it will cause you to freeze. And the moment it causes you to freeze, you will become a talker and not a doer. And that's what the spirit of fear really tries to attack is your ability to move forward. And so I know on Facebook and Instagram, you can find our short little segments on overcoming freeze and getting through that. So I'm going to let you go and find that there because in this one, what we're going to talk about is fear itself. And so when it is a spiritual attack or when it starts to commence in the spirit, one of the ways that you can recognize it is that it feels like it becomes hard to breathe. Sometimes it feels like it's hard to stand and you feel like you just got punched in the gut. These are things that you feel when the spiritual aspect of fear starts to take hold. Emotional. Your emotions will go off the charts wild in every direction. It doesn't matter whether you're male or female, you feel panicked. And the reason that I can tell you that men feel this on a regular basis. So, gentlemen, I'm really talking to you right now. And through most of this, it's you that we're going to be talking through. The reason that men die of heart attacks at a younger age and faster than women is because they spend so much more time afraid and they don't have any way they can communicate it. They don't have anyone they can share it with. They don't have anyone they can talk to. And the wife thinks that she understands, but here's what happens. The women look at the men and they go, well, look, this is who you are. And see, this is the key to marriage that we often miss is that women are a reflection of who you actually are. Not who you think you are, but who you actually are. So when your woman comes to you, your wife comes to you and she says, this is who you are. She's not making you feel better. That's honestly what she sees in you. And so it is then your job as part of that marriage to begin to walk in what she sees because what she's reflecting from you is what is truly inside of you and not the image that you portray to the world of what is inside of you. So, those of you who have harsh relationships, the reason that you have a harsh relationship is because what your inside is showing to your wife is the reflection of who you truly are. And so, for those of you who are sitting back and saying, I don't have a wife, yeah, you do. If you're having sex, she's your wife. So, get over that, get past it. I ain't trying to hear that today. Psychological starts to play tricks on your mind, and you think, oh my God, this is the way it's going to go. This is how this is going to happen. And you start getting all these thoughts that are feeding you. And oftentimes, those thoughts are contrary to things that you believe, they're different from things that you believe. They're not always your specific thoughts. However, you do take those thoughts, capture them, and make them your own. which is what makes fear powerful. And lastly is the physical. When we have physical fear, or when we have fear, what happens to us physically, physiologically, our pulse races, our heartbeat gets faster, adrenaline starts pumping, and the longer that fear runs, the more damage it does to the human body. So I want you to understand that, because this is what you're looking at. Now, the next question that would logically be asked is, how do I stop the fear cycle? Are you doomed to be in fear if you're already there? And the answer is no, absolutely not. You're not. At any point in time, you can step out of fear, but you have to want to. And overcoming fear is not difficult, because remember, you're fighting against a spirit. So when you're fighting against a spirit, you're dealing with someone who has a greater level of power. But let me explain the level of power difference when we're dealing with the demonic versus when we're dealing with, say, a human being. You see, demons, like fear, cannot cause you harm. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't spirits that cannot cause you harm. There are. But that's not what this is about, and they are not in charge of fear. They're in a whole nother realm. So one day, if you actually want me to do a video on the spirit realm and the demonic so that you can start to have a clear understanding of what's going on with the demonic, I'm happy to do that. But right now, I want you to understand the spirit of fear. So what happens with fear is it swoops in and it grows based off of how much power you're willing to give it. The more you feed it with your fear by becoming more fearful, the stronger it becomes. But fear is very easily defeated, because all it takes is for you to get sick and tired of being afraid. Because what you realize when you get sick and tired of being afraid is that it has not done you any good. You are not better off. You are not stronger. You're not healthier. You're not thinner. You're not prettier. You're not anything better by allowing yourself to be consumed with fear. It is not doing you any favors. And you get sick and tired of being stuck in this place. And then something kicks in. And it's a part of you that says, no more. And this is the thing that, gentlemen, you guys often need to do, is get to that place where you say, no more. And you use that fire to sit down and say, what is it that I really want in this life? What is it that I really want to do with my life and my family? Do I really want to have to work 12 hours a day? Do I really want... You see, that's all part of the game that fear plays with you. It comes down and it tells you, listen, you got to put in these hours. You got to do this. You got to do that. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. That's not... You don't have to do any of that. You get to choose how you structure your family and how you structure your life. And you get to decide if the career choice that you made for yourself is one that you really want to go into long term, or if you have specific goals. I want to talk to you really about the mindset of insurance agents. And one of the biggest mistakes that insurance agents make is that they don't set an exit plan. And instead of stopping and saying, you know what, I don't really want to live my life based off of this salary, or I really do love this field, but what is it that I love about this field? You see, there's so much room for growth, but the problem in the insurance industry is the structure of the system. And the way that the system has been structured creates a situation where insurance agents live in fear all the time. And so they're constantly worried about losing money, about not having a stable platform. So with that level of stress, one of the greatest ways to overcome that is to set a goal. Okay, I want to get to the place where I am making $100,000 a year. I want to make $100,000 a year for 3 years. Most people don't do that. And it doesn't matter if you're looking at insurance. It doesn't matter if you're looking at a 9-to-5 job. You want an exit strategy. I'm going in for this purpose. This is how long I'm willing to do this. This is what I want to do on my way out. Because that's how you start developing strategy. Interestingly enough, that strategy defeats fear every time. Because once you have a plan, now you begin to work your plan. You see, fear cannot find its way in as long as you have a plan. As long as you're taking action, fear can't find its way in. So it doesn't matter whether you are a planner or an action-oriented person. If you start with a plan and then you do the action, you've defeated fear every single time. Every time, fear's defeated. It can't stay in a place where there's action. Fear can only exist where inaction is allowed to live. You with me? So the more you begin to do, and the more what you do is about other people and not about you, is the more you will be successful. So let me give you another example. A client of mine is a business owner, and the number one problem with his business is him. If you are not focused on what is best for your customer, you will fail every single time. When you focus on yourself, because remember, the law is what? Love your neighbor as yourself. That means think about what is best for your client before you think about what is best for you. So, you are not doomed to live in fear if you are there. The first step, as we, the different positions, we set up what are the problems and challenges with the person and their thinking. Now, the benefits of releasing fear before you get further down the road is this. If you will start taking action when you first feel fear, then you will have a very different outcome than if you allow fear to set in. But the thing that often stops people is their belief. You have to believe in your ability to be successful. You can do whatever it is you want. You have to believe that you are a one-of-a-kind original. You are not like the rest of the crowd. And trying to be like the rest of the crowd is not doing you any favors. It's keeping you broke. It's keeping you in one space. And it's keeping you unhappy. And here's the thing that always cracks me up is when people believe that money solves everything. For some groups of people, money does. But then when the people get to the point that they have all the money they want, there's a whole big set of problems that cannot be solved with money. But it can all be solved with belief. Believing that you have what it takes to get to that next level is vitally important to your success. You have to believe. And if you don't believe in yourself, then I want you to play this over and over and over again and allow yourself to stand on my belief in you. Because you have to borrow somebody else's faith, someone else's belief, until you can get to that place where you can start believing on your own. It's a loan. And then you will be expected to be the foundation for somebody else's belief. You see, I've been there where I had to borrow somebody else's belief to be able to climb out of the mess. And it was hard because truthfully, I had very few people and I had to learn how because they weren't necessarily Jesus-based people, I had to learn how to borrow their belief to power me to get to the next level. And that's what I want you to understand. So how do you do that? It's very simple. You come back, you play this part of the video over and over and over again. And what does it tell you? You can do this. You can be successful. And you play that until you start taking the steps, one foot in front of the other, and getting to where you want to go. When you decide to step out of fear, you will be attacked in the spirit. All of a sudden, things are going to happen. It's going to scare you because fear is spiritually based. There will be attacks when you decide to go to the next level, to come out of that fear. You will be attacked. Just know that. And it's not a physical attack. It's going to be a spiritual attack. It may manifest in a physical way, but there will be a number of ways that it will come. Things will happen to stop you. All of a sudden, people within your group are going to attack you. All of a sudden, co-workers are going to have nasty things to say about you. Neighbors are going to do crazy things. Ignore them and keep moving forward. If you can't ignore them, deal with them and keep moving forward. They will pass. As long as you keep moving forward, they will pass. That's 100% money back guarantee. They will pass. I know this because they've always passed. But I had to keep doing the work. And so how you get to the point of being successful is that no matter how afraid you are, you come out of that fear and you keep taking the steps forward. As long as you keep taking those steps, you will be okay. You'll be better than okay. I know a lot of you are like, I don't want to just be okay. Don't worry. You will be better than okay. Because as long as you're taking the steps, you're allowing yourself to learn along the process. All right, so we're going to wrap it up for this Monday edition, and we will get you all set up so that you know how to overcome fear. All right? Have a great day. See you Thursday.